Hey everyone, welcome to High Energy Girl, a podcast helping women to age stronger because it is never too late to get fit, be strong, and feel sexy. I'm your host, Tracee Gluhige, health coach and personal trainer and founder of HighEnergyGirl.com. Each week, we will either have a guest interview, which will provide you encouragement or an actionable tip to help you age stronger, or I will do a solo episode. Please also join our awesome Facebook group called High Energy Girls, and I'm looking forward to see you on the inside of that group and hope you enjoy today's show. Hey everyone, this is Tracee, and I have a special announcement. In order for me to help more women age stronger, I have created a 90-day one-on-one coaching program. And the goal here is to teach women over 50 how to age stronger while burning fat and boosting energy without going hungry or living in the gym. If you'd like more information, please hit me up at Tracee@HighEnergyGirl.com or friend me on Facebook and send me a message. I have a goal of transforming 1,000 women in the next year, and I hope you are one of them. Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of High Energy Girl, and today your guest is me. That's right. Tracee is here to have a little chat with you in a bare all episode that I'm just really going to kind of talk off the cuff and let you know where I've stood this last 18 or so months and just kind of give you some stuff to research and to take a look at. So first of all, last March, I was a fitness instructor at the gym. I still had my private online health coach practice and, life was crazy good. And when I heard about this illness, this virus going around, I was just like everybody else and being mindful. But when we closed the gym and they really said, okay, everybody has to stay at home, I was like freaking out, just like you, just like everybody else. I went and I bought all this hand sanitizer and got masks. And I was really scared. I told my mother-in-law, I'll go and do your shopping for you. You don't have to worry about it. My mom lives in a senior living facility and literally they were locked up for the whole time. So I couldn't even see her for at least 6 months. It was just ridiculous. They couldn't even go down to dinner. And what a difference, a bad difference that made in her life. But I was scared for about a week. And then I'm in this Facebook Messenger group with a bunch of holistic doctors. And you may have heard me mention this a little bit before, but they started talking to other doctors or posting videos rather that like Dr. Judy Mikovits put, the American Frontline Doctors, Dr. Buttar, and all these other holistic perspectives. And so then I was thinking I know how our immune system works. It's like when a new teacher comes on board, they kind of get sick in the beginning, but over time they build up their immunity and they become more resistant so they don't get sick as easily as they did. Same with people in healthcare. When they first go in as, say, a nurse in the hospital, they seem to get sick more often, but then they start building a stronger immune system. And I heard this great doctor, Dr. Eric Niputi, who happens to be in St. Louis, Missouri, and he starts talking about hydrochloroquine and Z-Packs and all of this stuff. And if you don't have it, you can make tonic water or get tonic water. And that would help. And taking zinc and vitamin D3. And so I got on his website and I ordered some D3 and zinc, even though I already had some. But I just wanted to see what he had. And so I already was taking about 7,000 IUs of D3 a day when I remembered because I wasn't super great with it. But like most days I would take it. And so I upped my zinc. I started making liposomal vitamin C, which you can find the recipe on Carrie Brown's blog. She has it. Just Google it up, liposomal C recipe, Carrie Brown. And you can find that recipe. So I started making that, and I don't drink it every day, just have a hit when I feel like, maybe like a little scratchy throat. Sometimes because I talk too much. Go figure. But whenever I feel like I just want a little, I'll take like a big old sip of it. I've always done probiotics and prebiotics and all of that, but those are the things I added, okay? So I added the zinc, I added the liposomal C, and I did like this whole series last March for immunity, and I'm going to actually bring that back within like the next week or so, okay? Because I've learned some other things along the way. So I have been obsessed with listening to doctors who are treating patients from a holistic perspective. I'll tell you the best place to find out the truth is on Telegram, because YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook censor anything that doesn't march to their beat of their drum, to their agenda, and to their narrative. It is ridiculous. Like, my business was thriving like crazy because I was, I was doing Facebook ads. But when they kept blocking me and blocking me and blocking me for putting a hydrochloroquine recipe up, which is actually great. It's homemade. Did you know that many, many medications are modeled on things that happen in nature, but you can't patent a natural product? So since I brought it up, I'll just tell you the recipe. It's really good, actually. So you take 2 grapefruits and 2 lemons, and you take the skins off, the peel. And then I put it in a crock pot with 2 quarts of water. So just remember 2, 2, 2. And then you cook it in the crock pot. I cooked it on high for 8 hours. And then I let cool inside the crock pot so that I don't take the lid off, leave the lid on so it cools so everything doesn't evaporate. When I tried to cook it on the stove, literally all the water evaporated. This way works for me better. And then it fills 2 quart-sized jars, and you just keep it in the refrigerator. And every day I would take a big chug of it, okay? So by making that once a week, it's really good as a preventative. Dr. Stella Emanuel, who's part of the American Frontline Doctors, she actually was talking about this and saying how it acts as a prophylactic as well as a treatment for early onset of this virus. And so I was thrilled when I figured out that I could actually make it myself. And lo and behold, I haven't been sick in years. I can't even remember the last time I was sick, but it may have been when my dad was in the hospital and I was at the hospital a whole bunch and then on an airplane flying back and forth to Florida. That was the last time, and that was probably 3 years ago is my guess. So anyways, but you'll learn all about all this stuff, you guys, with my new immune boosting series. So stay tuned, and hopefully you are on my email list. If you aren't, please go to my blog at highenergygirl.com and subscribe so that you can get this series when it comes out, okay? So the other thing I want to talk to you about is the treatment. So I've learned a lot from all these different doctors, and if you do your research on, I'm telling you, Telegram's the place to be because it's not suppressed, like it's not, what is it called? Censor. So it's not censored on Telegram, so you can learn from a lot of wonderful things. So one thing I learned is that oftentimes in the hospital, they treat the patients that come in with this virus with a medication called remdesivir. And that actually isn't good because it leads to kidney failure, which leads to people's lungs filling up with fluid so they can't breathe, okay? And okay, don't quote me on any of this because I'm not a doctor, but please just go on Telegram and subscribe to like America's Frontline Doctors is a good source. I'm trying to remember what other groups I'm in that I hear all these great things, but you can find them. Nurse Erin has a great community, but there's a lot of different health people. And then when you follow one, you can see whose stuff they share, and then you can choose to follow more and more and more. So one of the doctors who I was listening to who was talking about the dangers of remdesivir, I might be saying that wrong, you guys, but I hope you can figure that one out. He actually said that there is this great website called myfreedoctor.com where you can get these types of medications that hospitals are not allowed to treat you with, even though the doctors that are using them privately are having great results. Okay? So you would want to, like, some of the buzzwords would be ivermectin. Now, Joe Rogan, who has the biggest YouTube channel and podcast of anybody out there, he got sick and was better in 3 days because he used ivermectin. Now, everybody's like, oh, well, it's a horse medication. Well, I want to say, and I could be wrong with this number, but there's like 300 studies that shows how it helps with people, okay? So it's an anti-parasitic, but you guys, we get exposed to parasites all the time. A couple weeks ago, I had the guy from Brave TV, Dr. Drew, on my show, and he was talking about the importance of getting rid of the parasites out of your body. And so I got a hold of the Cellcore products that are anti-parasitic, and you do it on the full moon. So please make sure you go check out that show, okay? It's really good. So on myfreedoctor.com, I requested a prescription for ivermectin, hydrochloroquine, and a Z-Pack, just in case I need it, okay? I think it's good to be safe rather than sorry. And one of my friends, sadly, maybe a week or so ago, about 10 days ago, she lost her husband. He went into the hospital sick. They would not listen to her and treat him the way she asked. They gave him the stuff she didn't want him to have. And it's heartbreaking, but he passed away. Okay, so you want to arm yourself with knowledge. Some of the people who are great at resources with this stuff would be Dr. Eric Naputi, who I mentioned earlier, Dr. Sherry Tenpenny, The Truth About Cancer, Ty and Charlene Bollinger. They're the reasons I went keto in the first place, because I watched several of their Truth About Cancer documentary series, and they interviewed people from all over the world that were having amazing results. I also listened to Dr. Judy Mikovits. You guys, these people are all worth your time to listen to and arm yourself with the truth, because a lot of the noise that you hear out there has an agenda. And I don't even want to talk about it because I don't want to scare you, but you need to remember that God wins, okay? This is a time that we're going through right now, which is beyond comprehension. I never would have thought we would be living in times like this. But why are we living like this for a virus who has a 99 point blank, depending on how old you are, percent survival rate? I mean, think about it. We're making our children wear masks that get all filled up with bacteria. We are just punishing people. Like, healthy people don't spread disease. You can't spread a disease you don't have. I know somebody very closely, him and his 2 roommates were all vaccinated, okay? Or given a shot, whatever you want to call it. I call it more of a shot because it's not even really approved. It's still in trial. And at least that's as far as my knowledge goes. The latest I've heard, it still hasn't been approved. It's only been approved for emergency use. So anyways, they all got the shot, and 2 of them recently tested positive. One of them is not sick at all. The other one is just a little sick. He feels like he has allergies and a little bit of a headache. But they all got the shot, so shouldn't they be safe and not have any problems? So that's what I'm saying. There's a lot of misconceptions out there. There's a lot of weird stuff. I just am imploring you guys to do your own research. And you can join my group on Telegrams. It's called High Energy Girls. I will include it if you get the email for this show. Okay? So you will get my whole list gets an email with a show link. And we will put a Telegram link in the email as well as on the show notes page. So you can join my group, because then that way I will share health things and spiritual things to the people in that group that pay attention. Okay? But there's so much. Like, please go check out Project Veritas, Veritas. James O'Keefe, who's the owner, he is a reporter that is on his own. He's not following anybody else's rules or agenda. He's an independent. And that means a lot in this day and age. Okay? So he is doing a series right now of whistleblowers in the medical community and what they're experiencing in these hospitals. It's quite frightening. So go check out Project Veritas as well. He's really, really good. If you're going to go on Telegram, some other ones that I really like are David Avocado Wolf, America's Frontline Doctors, Pandora's Box, Danielle Stojan, which is Stotijn. I just ordered her book. I can't wait to read it. It looks super good. And the rest I follow are more on the political side, like General Michael Flynn, Sidney Powell, Lynn Wood. Actually, it's real Jen Flynn is his name on here. So you don't need to worry about those guys, but please look at the holistic health stuff, because health is more important now than ever. And by improving your immune system and keeping your body safe, you will fight off viruses, bacterial infections, parasites, fungus, and even cancer. Okay? So I hope that you will take what I said to heart today. I will continue to empower you with emails and videos and people to follow so that you can do your own research that's outside of mainstream media. A year and a half ago, you guys, I would never have believed that I would believe what I believe now, or my eyes would be opened to, I always knew that the pharmaceutical mafia was bad news, but I never realized how bad it is now. So anyways, you guys, with that, please stay tuned, subscribe to my blog, join my group on Telegram. I will send a link in the email, also on the show notes page, and look forward to seeing the series that we're going to do of all these ways that you can boost your immune system very simply and easily. All right, guys, make it a great day. This podcast contains the opinion and thoughts of its host and guests. It is intended to provide helpful and informative material on the subjects covered. All statements made on the podcast have not been evaluated by the FDA and are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent disease. If the listener requires professional assistance or advice, please contact your personal medical doctor. Both host and guest specifically disclaim any responsibility for any liability, loss, or risk, personal or otherwise, which is incurred as a consequence directly or indirectly of the use and application of any of the contents of these episodes. Like I said, this is my opinion and I could be wrong.